Yo, yo, yo.
Yo,
What's up, bro? What's going on, man?
just hanging out. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm a little tired. I got a little jet lag. I had to catch a flight to the East Coast this morning, so I'm just getting my time zone back together. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm feeling good. How
For
you, man? I'm
sure.
surprised you're not out in the streets, man.
I've been taking it easy this week, actually.
I hear you on that, man. I definitely hear you on that. So one of the things I wanted to, well, a few of the things I wanted to talk about is, of course, congratulations on the new book.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to just see all the dope images and everything in there and get my copy and promote that. But just want to start out, the first time we had linked up was with the mural for Adore and Seymour. And
Yeah.
there, just seeing you grow as a photographer, bro, has been amazing. And just some of the images you capture is just, it really tells the story of LA. I was telling a friend of mine, I haven't really seen images of LA like this since like Esteban. You know what I mean? Like when Esteban was going hard out in the streets, him and Cartoon and doing all of that. And I really appreciate the stuff that you capture. I even have a few images of yours in here I wanted to talk about, like just kind of going over like the moments you felt when capturing them. But one of the one of the one of the things you want to
Can I
start.
can I just speak on that real quick?
Please do, please do.
So I just want to say, hey, I want to give Esteban a lot of credit because he's still out there.
Yeah, he is.
So he's like I've seen him a lot actually over the past few months. He's still out there documenting, which is just, that is so inspirational to me as a photographer too. To see a guy that has basically made it as a photographer out in LA and paved the way for us now. And so just to see him still out there doing it is just like, you know, super inspirational just in my own, like, for me to as somebody that I look up to, you know, to 10 years from now I know I'm gonna still be out there
Yeah,
just like him. So
he might still be out there.
he will be for sure, and his dad will be out there too.
Yeah, Roberto would be out there too. And like one thing about Esteban that a lot of people, may know if they've met him, I'm pretty sure you know, is that he's a really, really good dude. You know what I mean? And just being able to talk to him about, you know, just photography and just things, in general. I had a chance to at the gallery to sell a few of his books. He had brought some down, and I was able to sell it. He was just a dope dude, all around dope dude, and photography is timeless, man. That's
Yeah.
that's what I see from your work, man. Welcome to everybody coming in. But yeah, man, like I wanted to start off with, like what made you feel that, documenting LA is your passion?
It's just like for me, it's kind of a way to give back to LA. I was born in Santa Monica, raised in Culver City. Went to Santa Monica High School, so I grew up on the West Side, and just going to Clipper games when I was a little kid, going to Laker games when I was a little kid, um, then going to Clipper games in high school because it was cheaper than Laker games. But still loving the Lakers. I mean,
Yeah,
the Lakers are still my squad, but I like the Clippers a little bit too. Um,
this year though, I ain't gonna hold you. They choked this year.
they definitely choked this year, but the Lakers won. So, and I was out, and it was a beautiful thing. So,
You already know. So
yeah, we did it for Kobe this year.
Kobe, you know what I mean? So what was did you ever have a camera as a kid? Going to any of these games, like maybe a throwaway or like a pocket camera.
I just had my cell phone,
Yeah,
really. The flip phone.
yeah.
I didn't start taking. Actually, when we first met was when like I bought my first DSLR.
I asked you that. That was going to be
Yeah,
first because I remember like right after that you started really going heavy into the photos because I
yeah,
still have that photo. Like I still have all those photos that we took at the mural and all of that. and you had the camera, you had the longer hair, you know what I mean? You had the
Yep.
and you had like I remember because I was like, I thought Kemal was, out here getting the murals, popping. Like I thought that's what you're out in. I've seen the photography. I'm like, damn, like he's dope as hell doing that. So it's interesting that you said that was like the first time you got the camera. So what inspired you when you got that camera?
So to be honest, Streetwise LA like started around the whole Occupy LA movement that was going down. I there was a lot of different types of people coming out of all races and all socioeconomic
Mm,
um, levels. And I met my friend Amos, who when I met him was living like on the outskirts of Skid Row. He was staying in a tent, and I gave him a camera, like just a little flip camera to film on,
mm,
and I started posting it on YouTube, and then I like got more into Instagram and realized I could get a lot of traffic to the YouTube channel just by posting dope photos. So that was kind of the thing, and Amos has since like he went through a whole program at the Weingart and was able to get housing
nice.
through that, and we just met like some really cool people along the way. And I mean that like kind of just seeing that and like going through the Occupy LA stuff. Um, and actually at that time too, I was riding a bike everywhere. I
Mm,
didn't have a car, so like for that year and a half, I was on my bike, and I was besides the Occupy stuff, I was just seeing crazy stuff go down on my bike all the time. So I'm like, I got to have a camera to like capture some more of this stuff in a little better quality.
yeah. Word.
Um, so yeah, that was, I mean, the major motivation honestly was like, hey, if I take a dope picture, a lot of people will go to my Instagram, and then I can link them to the YouTube channel and get Amos a lot more exposure to what he was, because I was all about like people that are living the life telling the story, right? Like I think that's the most important. People from the communities telling the story of the communities. So Amos, living on the streets, was able to give people on our YouTube channel like this perspective that really brought brought the human element into homelessness.
Mm, mm,
So my whole thing was just getting as much attention because I really wanted to help Amos get off the streets. We all know how hard it is over on Skid Row and stuff, and in downtown if you're living in a tent. So we were fortunate. We met some really cool people along the way that helped us out. So
how was it with because I mean I've done a couple of projects down Skid Row, and for people that have not been down Skid Row, it's some amazing people down there. They've just hit on some hard times, just like a lot of us during this coronavirus period. Um, how was the attitude toward the camera at first? Because I remember when we were doing the mural down there, and we had the cameras out and I was filming. There was a lot of people that were excited, but then there were still a lot of people who are still a bit embarrassed about just being down there and don't want them misrepresented through a camera because we know that a camera can put out a picture that gives out so many different, feels of an image. How did they feel about, having the camera with you and with Amos down in Skid Row?
well, I mean, I think for you know people are always going to be more comfortable with people they see every day, and people that they know in the community, right? So to have Amos being the one that told the stories, and just knowing like, hey, like I see this guy every day, it gave him confidence in the people that he was talking to.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, like is there like when you get a chance, drop the link, and I would love to see that. Um, because I didn't even know there was a YouTube channel. With
Yeah.
the aim and story and all that. I think that's super dope, and it adds, a whole new element to the photography aspect. Um, what was one of the most inspiring moments with Amos that made you think, damn, this is really, making a change and an impact on him, and he's taking this and being able to, not only document but what's around him, but able to see it through a new, through a new avenue.
I mean, I think just the power of like just a friendship, really. Like Amos, he spent like 25 years in jail. When he got out, he came to the West Coast,
Hmm.
and just tried to start a new life. So to see him, he didn't really trust a lot of people at first, coming from, being incarcerated for so long. And I think, us developing the trust and just knowing that I had his back, and I mean, just he was able to. He was one. There's a lot of people that are on Skid Row that maybe don't have the motivation to leave their situation. Being down there as much as I have been, I've come to understand that. But Amos was really motivated to really want to, better his situation.
Yeah.
And so he did that. And I mean, I just like kind of helped him out a little bit, I mean, he was the major driving force in all of it. So, but yeah, we met some really cool people. Shout out to like Lisa Napoli, KCRW, Kim and Richard with Esoteric. They really gave Amos a lot of tools and a lot of connections, to be able to get out of being on the streets.
That's dope, man. Congrats, super congrats to you and Amos on one of the things you said that I thought was really important, and especially in photography, is gaining the trust of the people that you shoot. Um, One of the things that I love about your photography is that you capture a lot of emotion. A lot of people seem to not only pose but almost put on their Sunday's best for your photography in a sense, to where you're catching them in a great light. How do you start off by building that trust with the stranger? With just the lens in between.
I mean, I think it's just like coming from a good place and like just being like real, and um yeah, I mean, it's just the energy, like coming with some positive energy, if and just not trying, like just trying to be a good person. Right, like don't be an asshole. I don't know. I think that's like
No, I definitely feel you. I mean, because there's, I mean, being a photographer and being out, I've been out a few times, and you hit the streets and you go out and you just try to just shoot. And there's some people that looks like, what the fuck is going on? And there's a lot of people that are very welcoming. And one of the things that I've done that's helped me is that sometimes you show people, what I mean, some of the stuff that you've done. You know what I mean? Like I would say like, hey, I'm an art dealer, I have an art gallery, I do photography on the side. Here's some of the stuff that I do. I would like to take a portrait. Sometimes that's a little bit more opening, for people. And I know it's much different when you're, hopping off the bike and just snapping a quick moment. Um, has there been any moments where after you snap, somebody's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, yo, like, what are you?
yeah. I mean, 100%. Um, but like I'm definitely. I think as I've gotten older, I've decided like to ask a lot more. When I was first starting out, it was definitely first shoot first, ask questions later. Um, as I've gotten older, I can't like run as fast. Uh, I've like tried to make a little more concerted effort to. Like what bottom line, if I want the photo, I'm gonna do everything I can to get the photo.
Feel that.
Um, but I also don't want to like be that dude that's, you know, like just creating bad energy again, you know. So like I do try to definitely develop a rapport nowadays more. A lot of people do ask like, what are you shooting for? I think the number one thing I tell people is, you know, this is like just my passion.
Mm.
I just love taking photos,
Hmm. That's
you
dope.
know.
Yeah, like do they, do they wonder where the photos go? You know, a lot of people have asked me like, hey, do you have a website where I can check? Because especially a lot of people, they want to make sure that you actually take a good photo, so like,
Yeah.
do they inquire after the fact about like, prints and things like that?
So a lot of times I'll send the person the photo,
Nice.
and I think that helps. You know, I usually get their emails,
Mm.
um, especially if they're like, "Hey, can you send me that?"
Yeah,
I try, you know, I really try hard to send them the photos, especially if it's a good photo.
yeah.
You know, um, yeah, I try to definitely make an effort to do that.
So just off the top of your head, real quick, what's your favorite random photo? Can you remember it off the top of your head, or it's just way too many? Like a moment
Mm.
that you was like, damn.
So like the moment from this year is a it was the Wednesday after George Floyd was killed by the police. I went to the BLM LA weekly meeting at the Hall of Justice, and you know it was a really big crowd that day. And we started marching, and we went onto the freeway, and there was a dude who like jumped on the hood of a highway
Yeah,
patrol car,
yeah, I remember that.
and after he like the highway patrol revved up and he fell off the hood and he landed, hit his head. He was out for like, you know, man, like what seemed like a really long time. I think it was probably a few minutes. But right after he landed, there was a young lady who like started screaming, and I like snapped a photo of her. And to me, I don't know that's one of my more powerful photos from the year.
Wow. How did that, did that like strike something in you immediately? Like I, as a photographer, I need to be out here getting these moments, getting these shots, or was it just like, damn, I know that's going to be a good photo. Let me keep working.
I mean, it's more like I think at this point, like I more or less kind of shut off the thinking and just keep snapping,
Yeah.
and then like I process later on, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because yeah, these times are super important, and I want to do the best I can at documenting it. And I come from like a sports background.
Mm-hmm.
I played a lot of sports growing up, and I was always like a firm believer in like once you put in the practice, like you just kind of need to shut off for the game
Mm-hmm.
and like just let your, you know, what you've been putting the work in, you know, just kind of like take over.
Dope ass technology. So how many like was that the first protest that kicked off your like, 'cause it seems like you're at every single protest, bro. I mean, like I've probably gone to maybe about 5 or 6 this year when I can get out. I mean, I'm all the way out in Thousand Oaks and trying to get past the traffic and get through everything and then find out. I mean, I've even hit you up like, yo, bro, when are some of these going down? Like how many of them have you been to this year, and what is the overall temperament, from the ones that you've attended?
I mean, they're all really positive,
Yeah.
and I think like, you know, I've been like I said, I've been kind of in trying to be in these types of movements since the Occupy days, you know. And I think one of the things that draws me back is just kind of you know, you get to hear a point of view that you're not going to get anywhere else. You know, it's like a really exclusive, like if you're there, you're going to hear stuff that you don't see on mainstream media, you know, just real, like, really cool stuff. Sorry if it cut out for a second there.
I'm back.
Cool. I need to figure out how to. Somebody just tried calling me and then it like cut out.
That's why I've been putting my thing on airplane mode when they've been doing that. But it's cool. We got a couple of quick questions. Somebody says, when it pops off, what goes through your head?
I mean, like I said, like I just shut off. You know what I mean? It just like um, the intuition takes over. Just all the years on this, just photographing the streets take over, and I just kind of like, you know, let the years of that I've been practicing kind of, you know, guide me.
Yeah. And the second question was, what camera gear? I was going to ask you, what's the tools of the trade?
I mean, you could shoot with a potato, you know.
Facts. It doesn't really matter, but yeah.
Right now during the day, I shoot with the Fuji X100F.
Mm,
And at night I shoot with the Canon 6D.
mm.
And I have a for the Fuji, I have it's a built-in 23 millimeter 2.0, which is on a crop, so it's like a 35. That's my daytime. And then at night I have a 50 millimeter and a 20 millimeter.
That it quit. So, like, as far as like feel the action, do you like going and shooting at night as opposed to day, or vice versa? Where do you feel you get the more intense shots, the more involved photography, I would say?
I mean, I'm really comfortable in both. When I first started shooting, like I have a daytime job, full-time daytime job. So like when I first started shooting back in the day, like we would just creep around at night. Like we would just sneak into rooftops, you know, like so like I became I became really comfortable shooting at night to begin with.
Yeah.
But I prefer now shooting during the day just because it's like easier. You know, you don't miss as many shots, especially when the action's happening,
Yeah.
and like you can shoot at a higher shutter speed, so you don't miss anything, and yeah. So no, I think now I prefer shooting during the day, but nighttime's cool. It creates a cool effect.
Were you was it Was it pretty tough shooting um, during the thick of everything? Because I remember, I don't know if you were at the protest when in the beginning at Beverly and Fairfax, but I remember I was out there and it was just a whole bunch of shit just going off, and I had the drone up top and was going down there, and then they started just firing the rounds. How are you able to maneuver, still getting the shots that you do with all that's going on? How are you able to not, you know, first of all, fall. Second of all, still stay stable and capture the shots, and then, still get, out of the damn way. You know what I mean?
Man, I just got lucky. I didn't get hit. I
Yeah,
mean, to be honest, I was taking a lot of cover.
real talk.
You know, like if there was like a tree or like a light post or stuff like that, I was ducking behind that stuff because man, like yeah, people were taking bullets. You know, I saw a guy get shot in the forehead with a rubber bullet.
Seen that. I was on the other side of the trash cans when that happened. Remember when they pushed the trash cans out in the
I was right behind those trash cans.
Okay, yeah. So I was on the other side because I had right when the cop drove down and they threw all the shit inside the cops, and they was, from I was shooting down there and shit
Yeah,
get crazy, and I was like, fuck this, they're bringing the gun. I'm putting the drone up. It's safe from getting the fuck out the way.
yeah.
What I think I remember seeing, like, maybe you had a video of the guy that got hit with a rubber bullet. What's it like seeing? How do you actually continue to film, under, those circumstances while still providing the help because you were still providing assistance while still keeping the camera, which is fucking amazing. How were you able to keep your composure doing that?
I mean, I guess it comes back to sports.
Yeah.
Like, I ran cross country, I ran track, I played basketball. It, you know, I think cross country more than anything is like a kind of, it's you can kind of look at it as like or running in general is like an active meditation.
Mm.
Um, I just, draw on those years where like you just kind of shut your mind off and just kind of like push the shutter.
Yeah. Tough. Real tough. So let's talk a little bit about the book. The images. I'm excited to see what the 2020 book is going to look like, of course, but I'm also excited, because you've been taking images for just so dope for so long. What excited you about creating this book, and how did you feel that now was the time to do it?
I mean, I think I just reached a point where I felt really confident. There's the book cover,
Yeah,
nice.
put up there.
I just felt really confident in the work that I was producing to the point where, um, I just, I'm sure you do it too. We take so many photos, right? But we just stash them away
Yeah,
in our hard drives, and then nobody gets to see them. And um, I think more importantly, like I wanted to create something that for my friends and my family,
yeah,
that they could like kind of follow along with me over the next few years and just come with me on the journey.
yeah. How does your family react to the photos, when they see the book and everything? Do they say, like I can see like, mom's like, "Oh my God, like how did you get close with family being, like, concerned, and not really understanding the great photography, you know, just how did you get close? Or how did you do it? Like, what are the reaction of the family?"
So it's funny you asked that. Like actually the Fairfax day, right? Like I had been out late Friday night because in downtown it was pretty crazy on Friday. That's when all like the jewelry stores downtown got looted
Yeah.
um, and all that stuff was going down. And so like, and actually that Friday I was really close to some police activity, and I was actually probably too close, and I took a metal trash can to the head.
Woo!
I mean, luckily it was like a ricochet shot, but it was one of those really, really heavy ones. And I had so much adrenaline on Friday that I didn't realize till like hours later I got home and I like was trying to edit, and I'm like, what? Like, why do I feel like this? And I realized like I got fucked up. So yeah, the next day was Fairfax, and like all morning I was actually morning I went back to downtown to document the aftermath.
Hmm.
Then I came home, I like ate, I took a nap, got up, and like all my friends were at the BLM action at Pan Pacific Park.
Yep.
I didn't go to that because I was still like kind of recovering.
Yeah.
But then I got a phone call from my mom or my dad, and they were like, "You're not in Fairfax, are you?" And and I was like, "Oh, all right. I think it's time to go to Fairfax." So yeah, I like jumped in my car and then went to Fairfax. So I know my parents know what I do, and they, my grandfather was a conscientious objector. Um, my grandmother, it took her a long time to get her citizenship because she's an atheist and she didn't believe in saying the Pledge of Allegiance because it had one nation under God.
Mm.
And it took her about 20 years after she got a good lawyer to get her citizenship. Um, so there's just a lot of activism in the family, and you know, I always like to tell people I'm definitely out there as a number, more than taking photos,
Yeah,
always. Um, you know, I believe if I didn't believe in the cause, I wouldn't be out there.
that's
You know,
definitely.
and just I mean, I guess that's not because I don't really believe in the Trump stuff. But these are just crazy times we're living in, and I really want to document all of it.
Yeah, it's good segue because one of the questions I had in front one of the images because I picked out some of my favorite recent images. Well, some of them because there was a lot of favorites that I had, but one of them was this one, and I was like, what was the feeling like there, bro? Like, how does it? How did like because you've been to both sides of the protest, documenting both sides. And with me, I've only been to the BLM side, not because I don't want to go to the Trump side or see it or whatever to document it, just because I don't necessarily know when they are. But how was the temperament? What did it even what was even it like there?
So the reason why I haven't been to as many is just because it takes some time to like recover from being around those people. Like the energy is so off, and like I've tried having conversations, but it's not a conversation. It's like talking to Trump, right? Like these guys are just like they're really. I mean, they all fit into a mold.
Yeah,
It's like a Trump mold. It's like really self-centered, and it's so crazy that like they've all found this thing to like worship. It's a real cult. It's a really culty vibe.
damn. Yeah, because I heard from a few other photographers, that went there, and you know, there were people that kind of like asked them like, why are you even here? Like, dude, like I'm photographing the event. This is historical. No matter what my political affiliations are, I'm here photographing because people need to see this. And a few of them say, they were spit on, attacked for no reason. You didn't experience anything like that or anything like that, did you? Is it like,
I
is it?
mean, not personally, but I witnessed the stuff. You know, I try to keep like a cool, calm demeanor with anybody that I'm dealing with.
Yeah,
I think it helps gain trust too, and helps me to maneuver and get in positions that I might not normally be in. Um, but yeah, I mean, this guy right here pepper sprayed the BLM crowd that came up. That's why he was arrested. Um, it's just yeah, I can't be around. Like I've only been over. I've probably documented just a real small handful of these events this year. Probably like five or so. Just because I just it takes so much energy.
yeah.
Just being around those people and like the stuff that like they say and like dude, it'll blow anyone's mind.
That I mean, like just seeing like going through the images, I was like, man, wow, like just the emotion, like looking at this shot, there's not any facial recognition of any kind. There's no the subject is the burning flag, and it's so representative of kind of like the times because we wonder, is America burning? Is this the end of what we knew, growing up, the America we knew before, Corona, does this signify, a new country, a new way of living? And maybe yes, maybe no. It's one of those things to where it's like this image to me, it poses that question. Um, another image that was really, really dope to me, was this one, you know, um, just seeing the like almost like the non-reaction, of the police. Maybe he's sitting there, maybe he's saying stuff, maybe he can't react, maybe he's trying not to provoke. I'm not trying to put anything on him, but just looking at the it's almost like a dividing line. You see the agitation, the anger, the upsetness on the left, and it's just like a disregard on the right. Like the calm just sits on the right when there's so much agitation, on the left. I thought it was a good a divider, and then dude with the middle finger in the middle, he's technically in the middle with the middle finger. You know what I mean? Like a lot of
Yeah.
the different stuff about it. I just thought it was really, really cool. Um, this one, where did this come from, bro? Oh, this,
So this was the night of the Breonna Taylor verdict.
uh,
Um, this guy was one of the like I think he was like he was like running security for everybody.
wow,
There was a whole group of guys that were like kind of on the front line with shields and stuff to protect from people from the police like shooting into the crowd and stuff like that. Yeah, this
it's insane because when you look at it, it almost it a mask at all, bro. Like it looks like he had some serious Universal Studios work done, and it's caught so perfect because his eyes match the mask
yeah.
at the moment. And it's just like it's almost like, is this dude really there, or is that like one of the ghostly things that you catch? You
I
know,
mean the emotions are high right now, on all fronts, like and 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 America's hurt right now.
facts.
And it's going to take some time. I mean, it's going to take years to heal from this. No
Yeah,
matter who, and it's going to take longer if Trump's elected again.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think if we can get Biden in office, and a lot of people don't think he's the best either, but at this point, it's just kind of the lesser of two evils. If we can get Biden in office, at least we can like begin the process of healing again. Because I think everyone is pretty tired of living in this like reality TV show.
Facts, super facts.
You know,
This was another image I thought was amazing, um, especially with the signs in the back, but the one that's clear saying "Burn it the fuck down," and it actually pretty much matches her hoodie, and it's like in Lakers colors too. So this is like super LA. This is like super like South Central photo. Like where was this taken at?
this was actually taken in West Hollywood. But this is Rox. She's one of the community organizers. Just an amazing lady. She's been organizing. She's done two now, Dance for Black Lives.
Nice.
And she just comes with really good vibes. And there are like groups that are out there that maybe don't have. I'm always going to be about peaceful protest. But again, people are going to protest the way they want to protest. But Rox has been creating a space for everyone to come out, a peaceful space to come out, feel comfortable, and voice their opinion in any way they want. So big shout out to Rox because just she's just a great community organizer.
Loved this image. Loved it. What was the vibe like inside the tunnel? Like I can imagine everybody because anytime you post a photo like this, the first thing you comments people get is just, "Damn, there's a lot of COVID in there. Damn, there's a lot of COVID." Like, what was your vibe of being in there? 'Cause you could see everybody masked up, but how did you feel just seeing? Damn, there's enough people here to cover up all of the spaces that seem you know, super, I guess, spacious, to where it would take a lot of people to fit in it. Like, a Hollywood Boulevard, like there's people that have been literally packing these places. How are you able to move around and actually get good shots in spots like this.
I mean, it just comes with experience and just knowing the city really well. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, I will say everyone is really masked up at all these events,
yeah,
and I think that that's why a lot of the research has shown that a lot of the protests haven't led to any kind of breakouts or anything, because everyone is really conscious of this, especially in LA. I mean, I don't know about other cities like in the Midwest and stuff, but um, in LA, I think most people believe that COVID is real and that we need to protect ourselves. And just being out, people get called out if they're not wearing a mask.
yeah, they do all day.
So I mean, you know, yeah, I never am out there without one.
This image I thought was very dope as well because, it's almost like she's the mask, but she's also protecting him, and it's kind of like showing like how a lot of the ladies, have taken, the front lines, the forefront, and actually leading a lot of these protests. Like you talk about Rocks, and a lot of other ladies that have really been out there. Talk about this image. Where was this?
This was at Father Sarah Park. I think this was also the night of the Breonna Taylor verdict, or not the. It's when they announced the indictment of the guy that, well, or the non-indictment, I should say, of any of the cops that shot Breonna Taylor. Um, yeah, everyone met at Father Sarah Park, and yeah, this couple was just, I don't know, it caught my eye, and this was the first shot I got of them, and I got some other ones too, but this one just captured, I think, them perfectly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, just with the focus was amazing. The back blur, the color of the blur in the back adds so much more to bring out the subjects in this photo. Like it almost like I really don't know how to explain it. It's so ill. Like it's one of those things where it shows like we're not playing, we're here, we're visible, um and that, I mean,
No,
go
yeah,
ahead, I'm sorry.
no, you're good. This is one of those photos where, like, right when you take it, you're like, all right,
Yeah,
like this is it. Like, this one's gonna be the cover of tonight's 10 photo set. Like, yeah. As soon as I took this and looked at it, I was like, yeah, this is the one.
it's so fire. Oh, we got a question. Someone says, how are you getting so much light on your subjects at night?
So I mean, like, I shoot with a 50 millimeter 1.2, so that's how I'm getting so much light. That was the first lens I ever bought. I financed it. It took me a couple of years to pay it off. Um, but I spent probably my first, I want to say, 2 years only shooting with that lens. Um, and yeah, I just feel really comfortable with that lens. It's a really good night lens. Maybe the best. I don't. People, I would say it's the best. I don't know what other people might say, but I also have a 20 millimeter Sigma 1.4. Um, Again, both those lenses let me shoot at night without having any flash. Um, I'm not really big into flash photography. I do like slow shutter flash that I can do on my Fuji.
Hmm.
I would be interested in getting a setup for, just because it like creates a really cool effect. But yeah, at night I just shoot with my 60D and mostly my 51.2. But if I know I can get close to the action, I prefer shooting with my 20. It just gives you, like, I like to be really in the thick of things when I'm shooting. You know, I mean, lately I've been shooting with the 50 at night, only to protect myself
Yeah, I feel you.
because like it gives me a little bit more space, and I don't have to worry as much about getting hit with rubber bullets or getting hit with pepper balls or so um, yeah, that's why I've been shooting more with my 50. My 20 is like my go-to street lens. It's my go-to protest lens. It I think it captures protest better than anything because it gives um, it allows me, it forces me actually to be in the situation, and I think that's if you're doing protest photography, I think that's like the only way to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, even my Fuji, which I like a lot because it's really small. Um, it's a 35, so it's still pretty. It's still a pretty wide lens.
mm,
So I can. It really gives people that are looking at the photos the perspective of being there and being like in the action, and I think that's really important for telling the stories.
hell yeah. Um, Another bittersweet moment. Talked a little bit about it earlier, but the Lakers winning, but our brother Kobe, we lost him this year. It was sad because like that where he passed that is literally like two exits from my house. So I was actually on a computer that morning, and you can see smoke and all that shit and wonder what the hell is going on. And then you
Yeah,
hear what you think you heard, like what? You know what I mean? Then you
yeah,
was, and then you being so close, it just was, something devastating. And with me being from Philly originally, you know, knowing Kobe and knowing people that had known him, went to school with him since he was 13, 14 years old, it's almost like you watched the man's whole life, and to see the Lakers really bring it home for him was super dope. So to see these images, especially this one, like that holding that LA, that tat out, just that emotion, like that scream, that holding that Kobe jersey, like that's like a Kobe moment. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like when Kobe would hit the shot. I thought this was like timeless. Super, super dope shot. This one as well, just having the flag out, and just seeing the amount of people just out there. It was just it was just amazing, man. Like just seeing all that, and this is the grand image right here. This to me, dog, is the grand. What the fuck? How? What was happening in this, bro? Like how?
Hey, so I took a video of this too because it was just like too unreal, and then actually, Foo's Gone Wild reposted on their thing, and I was like, all right, I'm like done with Instagram. Like I can quit now, and like my girlfriend's over here laughing at me, and like yeah, I was just like, no, this was so yeah. This lady came to celebrate in the bubble,
Yeah,
and I mean, this like is just such a sign of the times, right? Like, I mean, for her to be out there, in the bubble, the NBA was in a bubble.
yeah.
We're trying to like, not get COVID. There's a bunch of people out. I don't know. Just like, yeah, this is a major sign of the times right here.
I'm. My main question was like, how the fuck did she get in there? Like, and then how? Like how did it get blown up? Is that her air? Like it's a whole lot of questions that I have for this thing, man. Like it's just totally insane. Um, and just trying to figure it all out. Yeah, like how did she even get in there, bro? Like, did she tell you?
So that I no that I mean I saw like a little almost like a little hatch or something, but I don't know. This lady actually found the image, found the video, like we're following each other on Instagram. I inquired with her about doing a follow-up interview. I'd like to actually, I'm gonna definitely try and make that happen. Um, but she's like a diehard Laker fan. If you go to her Instagram, she has photos with everyone. Um, she has photos with Kobe, Jeannie Buss, all just recently like Dwight Howard, Caruso, everybody. You know what I mean? Like
It's like Clipper Darrell.
exactly, exactly.
So, yeah, man. Like one of the things that I just wanted to say as we wrapping, everything up is, like I appreciate, the images, man. Like just your hard work, your dedication to just getting the shot right. I mean, you be hitting the mark a lot, bro, and it's very admirable. Um, Everything about just the shots in general, the positions, the compositions. I appreciate it, man, and I look forward just seeing a little bit more. I look forward to getting the book, and I look forward to just seeing what else you put up, bro. Like I'm a huge fan of the photography, and I appreciate it, man. Real talk.
Man, I really appreciate that, and thank you for giving us this space to talk.
Somebody said, "Here you go."
That's Jeremy. Shout out to Jeremy. His work is amazing too.
Jeremy, thank you for tuning in, man. Like, but
Hey,
yeah, bro,
one more thing. I wanted to show you this. This is like, let me see if I get this. Can you see that?
yeah. Oh
So
shit,
like Adore and Seymour like hand
yeah.
drew this. I let them stay at my house. Um,
Wow.
Actually, they stayed at my parents' house, which is funny.
Yeah,
Well,
go see them when I went to France, but I there was no train or whatever park that went down to like they were in Nantes, and
yeah.
I was like, man, I'm not driving down there. I don't know these French roads like that. I'm not just gonna be traveling France like some random dude. Like I was like, I'll catch you the next time. But like they're cool as hell, man. Like they're super cool.
No, they were. It was such a privilege, like and I think that that's like I just love art. When it comes down to it, like photography might be the path that I have decided to go down, but I just love art.
Yeah.
Like all mediums, all that. It's just like yeah. That's how I want to end it. Art is the best, man. Everyone just go out and do more art.
Hey,
Especially right now, we need it. Like the times are this is the time. Like if you're an artist and you're not doing art, like switch that. Like we need you out there creating because it's more important than ever right now.
that's what I'm about to do now. I'm about to do a few studio visits. Visit some of my artist homies out here in Philly and just get caught up and just get some shots, man. So, bro, thank you so much for the time. I'm always around if you need anything. And, bro, keep shooting, man. You got a fan over here, man. Big time.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate this. I anytime, like if you want to check in again, we should do this again. I'm over here on one last thing. I'm over here on Crenshaw and Adams now.
Oh, you in what? Oh, that's the hood, man. You already know. You already
Yeah, like I go to Delicious Pizza. It's right across from the gallery you used to work at and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I'm going to be opening a new space. Like that space I had gotten, well, not gotten rid of, but I made sure that the buddy Terrell that runs it now made sure that it kept the same vibe because I loved Gallery 38, man, and I'm going to be creating a new one. I'm hoping to get another spot in West Adams, so you know
cool.
it'll be dope, man, and it's much needed, bro, so we can get some photography up in here.
Let's do it.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, man. Have a good rest of the night.
Thank you. You too.
All right,
Safe
brother.
travels.
Thank you, man.
All
Peace.
right. Talk to you soon. Peace.